Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Legion video. Today we are going to be going through the new legendary items that are being added in patch 7.1.5. While I'm not the biggest fan of legendaries as bits of gear, I love how their effects can add extra gameplay, change up your decision making process, and then just give you extra utility options. I'm going to kick it off with the ones that don't have a class restriction. So we've got Kil'jaeden's Burning Wish. You fire a vortex of destruction that seeks your target and explodes, doing 862,000 damage to all enemies within 10 yards. It's basically a pocket nuke, isn't it? So I think the power of that's really cool, but I'm maybe not the most interested in it because it doesn't have a really cool impact on your decision making. It's kind of just some extra power. Anyway, next we've got Archimonde's Infinite Command. This is one for the tanks. Gain an absorb shield for 50% of your max health for 10 seconds. When that's consumed or expires, 100% of the damage that it absorbs is dealt to nearby enemies split evenly. Honestly, I don't really like mechanics like that too much, but I guess it could be kind of handy for getting a pack of mobs to stick on you, but yeah, not the most interesting to me. For the healers though, we've got Velen's Future Sight. Increases all healing done by 10% and causes overhealing on players to be redistributed to 3 nearby injured allies for 10 seconds. So I think it's kind of nifty how it's basically turning every single heal that you have into something with a slight AoE component. Now, it's not like, say, a smart heal from the Siege of Orgrimmar days, but I think it's an interesting change to the toolkit. That said, a flat 10% increase to heals? That just seems a bit boring. Anyhow, let's start going through the classes with the warrior. So we've got the Timeless Stratagem. Heroic Leap has 2 more charges. This sounds fun as hell. Now sure, is it the best for raid throughput? No, but it could get you to where you need to be quicker, so you'll, have less time lost running. But yeah, really, it just seems kind of fun, and that's why I like it. Sure, it's probably not going to give you the best DPS numbers in comparison to the other legendaries. For the Death Knights, we've got the Consort's Cold Core. This halves the cooldown of Sindragosa's Fury and causes it to freeze targets. I think this is a pretty big one. Sindragosa's Fury has a 5-minute cooldown normally, so what this will let you do is squeeze more Sindragosa's Furies into a fight. Because the base cooldown was so long, getting 2 into a fight would have been kind of rare, but now you'll be able to get 2 or 3 uses of it into a fight. Now for the blood DKs, we've got Skullflower's Hematosis. Every blood boil increases damage and healing of your next death strike by 20%, stacking up to 5 times. Now I love how this basically adds another layer of gameplay, as if this was a brand new talent for the blood DKs. I think being able to prepare for a large bit of incoming spot damage through this is a really nice gameplay option, and that's really the kind of thing I love to see from items like this. And then finally we've got Death March, so your Death Strike and Death Coil reduce the cooldown of Defile by 2 seconds. Once again, it's actually a bit of noticeable gameplay, which I think will be great, and yeah, nice enough benefit to your AoE. For the Paladins, Ashes to Dust. Enemies hit by Wake of Ashes take 20% increased damage from you for 6 seconds. Now I think it's nice to see their artifact ability get a little bit more interesting through this. Every 30 seconds you get a 20% damage buff, so skilled players should be able to make good use of this gain. So yeah, again, it's another nice little layer of gameplay being added. We've got Suran's Resolve. Light of the Protector gains an additional charge and has a 10% reduced cooldown. So having an extra charge of this means you can spam it twice to get 60% of your health back quick. I think that's pretty damn sweet. Now, if you're standing in a consecration, then that's 100% of your health back. So I think from a power perspective, it's really nice and people will be excited about it. It's a little bit dull, I think, but yeah, it's a big power increase, so that will be exciting for survivability. Next, we've got Murad's Dying Breath. So, Light of Dawn causes your next Light of the Martyr to heal your Beacon of Light, and then each ally healed by Light of Dawn increases Light of the Martyr's healing by 20%. So one of the main things with Light of the Martyr is that it doesn't heal your beacon normally. Now the thing with Light of the Martyr is it's strong, it's instant, and I believe it's quite mana efficient, though at the cost of hurting you for half of the healing done. I think that's a really cool little interaction that's being layered on top of those abilities, and that's probably gameplay that you'll actually feel, which again is what I love to see from legendaries. Next, we've got the Hunters. So Mantle of Command, Dire Frenzy gains 1 additional charge. Normally this is just a 15-second cooldown. A big bit of gameplay here is you'll be able to pull them up so you can use more of them during Bestial Wrath. So again, I think that's a really cool bit of gameplay. Next, we've got the Mark II Gyroscopic Stabilizer. Using Aimed Shot makes your next aim shot have a 20% higher crit chance. More importantly though, you'll be able to cast it while moving. So I love how this is giving you a little bit of like a kind of alternate stutter step gameplay. It will allow for marksmanship hunters to lose less vulnerability enhanced aim shots due to being able to move during the second one. So I think that's pretty cool, and I like how it's going to be a tangible change that you'll actually feel while you're playing. Now, there is a placeholder survival one. It has no effects currently, so we'll talk about that in the future. For the Shamans, we've got Uncertain Reminder. So heroism will just last 30 seconds longer on you. Damn, that actually seems really strong. I think it makes thematic sense. Now, while that is exciting, yeah, more heroism, who the hell doesn't want that? It doesn't really change how you play, so it's not that interesting to me, but I guess the power increase is exciting. So, for the Demon Hunters, we got the Delusion of Grandeur. The cooldown of your Metamorphosis is reduced by 1 second for every 15 Fury that you spend. Basically, it's a bit like that Warrior talent. I think that's actually pretty good. Won't change your decision making much, but hey, more Metamorphosis, and I guess that'll be exciting. We've got the Spirit of the Darkness Flame, so Fiery Brand heals for 150% of damage done, but each Sigil of Flame hit increases the damage of your next Fiery Brand by 20%, stacking up to 15 times. Right, I love how this is adding a new layer of depth to the current moveset. For the Vengeance Demon Hunter, I mainly play Vengeance on my Demon Hunter, and that just seems like something that's pretty exciting and a new way to play it. So for the Monks, we've got the Anvil Hardened Wrist Wraps. Each time you dodge or an enemy misses, you clear 5% of your stagger damage. That seems kind of powerful to me. I haven't played Brewmaster since Mop though, so I really can't comment on it that much. We've got the Shelter of Rin. Sheilun's Gift heals allies affected by Renewing Mist for 15% of the amount healed. A nice power increase. Good to see an enhanced toolkit there. It doesn't seem like the most fun in the world to me. That said, I've never played that spec before, and the healer that I do play when I heal, which is kind of rarely, admittedly, is the Resto Druid. Anyhow, the Emperor's Capacitor. Chi Spenders increase the damage of your next Crackling Jade Lightning by 100%, stacking up to 25 times. I love this, right? This is a bit like, say, the Fulmination mechanic from the Warlords of Draenor Elemental Shaman. I just think it's cool. It's adding a new layer of gameplay on top of what's already going on. It's another thing you can kind of monitor, another sort of thing up your sleeve. Overall, I think that is a really cool effect. For the Druids, Zoni's Caress. Allies protected by Ironbark receive 75% of the healing from your active rejuvenations. That seems like a pretty cool effect. You'll normally have a lot of rejuves rolling anyway, so this basically just amounts to a souped up sort of Ironbark that'll keep that target a bit more topped up as time goes on. Mightn't change your gameplay that much, bar making your Ironbark more powerful, but I think it's a nice little twist on how that ability works. We've got the Fiery Red Maimers. Maim deals 200% increased damage and hits 2 additional targets near the Druid. So, big question here, how much of a difference does it make for damage? Is it something you'll then want to use as a part of your DPS rotation? Certainly though, the extra stun on it would be very nice if you're out in the world and, you know, you're swamped by mobs, you can stun a whole bunch of them. So I'm not sure about the raid content, but I can see that being situationally kind of useful. There's the Lady and the Child. Moonfire hits another enemy within 20 yards of the target. That's kind of boring in my opinion, so let's move on to the Rogues. Mantle of the Master Assassin. During stealth, and for 6 seconds after stealth, your crit chance is increased by 100%. Yeah, holy shit, 100%. I guess that means Vanish is even more of a awesome DPS cooldown for you. I think this is a pretty nice legendary, and I think it's pretty cool how you'll be able to play around making the most use of its effect. Generally, as I've said many times, that's kind of the thing that I like about legendaries, and even like about, say, the talent system in the game. So next we've got Priests. We've got the Cam Zeraf? Is that a pun? I have no idea. So Light's Wrath reduces the mana cost of your damaging spells by 100% for 1 second, increased by 1 second per ally affected by Atonement. Now I think that's really cool. Of course, you know, this is affecting your damaging spells, but due to Atonement, those spells will therefore heal. So this is giving you a lot more damage and a lot more healing. Often I think the artifact weapon abilities in Legion haven't been the most interesting, so having additional interactions on top of them is really nice, and I think this does play into the Discipline toolkit pretty well. We've got Ramal's Ulterior Motive. Whenever Prayer of Mending heals, it's going to leave a buff on the character that causes the next Flash Heal, or Holy Word Serenity cast on them to be increased by 10%. So, I don't know, like, this will be interesting to track because Prayer of Mending jumps about the place. I think it's a nice bonus, I guess, but it doesn't stand out as being that powerful to me. I think. Let me know your thoughts, but it just seems a bit off right now, unless I'm completely missing something. For the mages, right, we've got Gravity Spiral. Evocation has an additional charge. Now, this is going to be awesome for Arcane. Arcane is all about mana management, and Evocation is a core part of how they play, so having an extra charge will let you go full burn mode on targets for longer. This will be great for making, use of certain parts of a fight that really benefit from greater burst DPS. So yeah, I think that's really, really cool indeed. We've got Ice Time. Frozen Orb explodes into a Frost Nova that damages targets. Once again, I think that's really cool. Who knows about the throughput benefit from it, but it just seems like a really useful and fun addition to what Frozen Orb actually does. We then have the Pyrotex Ignition Cloth. So your Phoenix Flames will reduce the cooldown of combustion by 6 seconds, which I guess is a nice little power increase. Now my mage is fire, so I can see that being handy, but I can't really see it being the most exciting thing in the universe. For the warlocks, we've got Reap and Sow. Soul Reap will last 2.5 seconds longer per consumed soul, which I believe brings it up to 7.5 seconds per consumed soul. So this is the Affliction artifact ability that it's affecting. The ability itself increases your damage by 10% and doubles the effectiveness of your weapon's traits for 5 seconds per soul reaped, so this brings it up to 7.5. Basically, it just makes it a more potent part of your toolkit. We've got Lessons of Space-Time. Damage is increased by 15% when you have a Dimensional Rift open, so this is for the Destro locks. Dimensional Rift is a 45-second recharge of 3 charges, and you'll be able to use that to pretty much maintain this damage increase for a period of time. So a good example of using this is probably at the start of the fight, and you'll be able to maintain that 15% increase during heroism, so it'll make that period of your DPS even more potent. We've got the Weakener's Loyalty, so each soul shard spent empowers your artifact weapon, increasing the damage of your next Thalkeel's consumption by 5%. I don't know, would this affect your decision making much? That's my main question here, or is it just a power increase that'll happen without you really noticing? Right now it seems like the latter to me, and I get that that could be quite powerful, but is it really going to change your gameplay that much? I really don't like Demonology or really most of the Warlocks that much though, so if you play a Warlock, let me know how that legendary is shaping up. So overall, that's a look at the new legendaries, at least so far, that are coming in patch 7.1.5. Overall, it's kind of similar to the line that I've been towing with legendaries. I don't like them as bits of gear, but I really think the effects that they add to the game are really cool. I love how they change your talent choices and, give you new decisions to make, new options. I think all that stuff's really cool, and when we get to the stage in maybe 1 or 2 patches time where you have maybe 4 different legendaries and you can select which ones you want so you make a build for your character, I think that's really, really cool. I just don't like how they're there as bits of gear, so I wish they had another way of delivering what I think is really, really awesome functionality to us. But that's it for this video. Let me know what your thoughts are about these new effects. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.